When it comes to the long haul, we're thinking of every mile. The all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5. It's your journey.
But you're just brick-walled here, right?
Yes.
So all you have is just that 2-5 flyer on defense.
Yeah, things looking really rough here for Carl Serap as he's facing down a heck of a lot of pressure now from Jakob Toth, both on his life total, but also just the cards in hand. Destroy Evil can kill Rafine. Odawara can send it packing.
Yeah, I mean, Jakob basically has a lethal attack here, right? Because you can go Destroy Evil on Rafine, Odawara, whatever. Oh, okay.
This is aggressive.
I mean,
probably the type of thing that needs to happen. Oh, look at this. Jakob's
going,
thinking,
do I counter?
Maybe I just put a bunch of counters on my creatures.
It's basically like putting a 6/6 into play.
Yeah, look at this. He's
okay.
going to do it.
Carl goes, well, that was not ideal.
I think that's just game, right?
Yeah, you destroy Evil Rafine and attack with everything.
Right, easy game here for Jakob Toth. He's just been able to curve out some stumbles on mana. Not even that, you know, he missed one land drop, now another one. And that's going to do it for Carl Serap, I think. I don't see any way out for him.
And you know, one thing that I want to kind of point out here in these mid-range matchups that we've seen so far in the semis is you see people trying to next level each other by playing these cards that are a little bit slower. You see the Bankbuster, you see the Siphon Insight, but that's the beauty and the power of this Esper mid-range deck. You want to go long? Well, I can just kill you really fast, really quickly. You have all these cards that just pump your team, put counters on things where oftentimes you just can't execute on that game plan of trying to go super long.
Don't go too slow, or this is exactly what will happen. Jakob Toth picks up the first win. You can see he's stoked about it, and that was a huge and well-earned victory there over Carl Serap. Again, just to remind you, we're in the upper semifinals, so Carl's still very much in the tournament, but he's got a much longer road to go as Jakob puts himself into the upper final. He's going to be playing against Eli Cassis up there to see who's going to get that quick road in to our title match.
Yeah, I mean, what a run from these teammates. Teammates playing it off to see who gets to play in the finals of the World Championship. You know, this was a relatively small team. It was a 4-person team, and to see 2 make it into top 4 and see each other here, what a run for these players.
What a run for these players, and we've got Jakob with Cedric right now.
I am here joined by the winner of our other upper semifinals here on Sunday. It is Jakob Toth. Jakob, you just defeated Carl in a very fun back and forth match, the Esper Mirror. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I was on the play because of how the Swiss went, so that was awesome. And I have the biggest decision, I think, of the match was the very first second. I have a 7-card hand, 4 lands, 3 spells, but I cannot cast my 2-drop on turn 2. Okay. And I think really hard, and I decided I'm going to make Eli proud. He would have shipped this one. I know he would. I have trouble with this one, but I decided to do it, and I think it was a correct decision, and it really paid off. And from that point, there were some small hiccups in the first game, but it was a pretty clean sweep. And in the second game, Carl got actually pretty unlucky and just missed his first land drop, even with Insight. So that was pretty rough for him. I was very happy to see that, not gonna lie, but yeah, sometimes the magic goes that way. So super excited it went this smoothly, and yeah, thrilled to win.
So you talk about thinking about Eli with the mulligan decision. Now you're going up against him in the upper finals. Another teammate battle. We saw so many of those between your team yesterday. How do you feel about this one coming up for you?
Well, Eli's a beast. There is no doubt about that. He can be on the play. Maybe he chooses to get some card advantage. We will see. But I'm not holding my breath for that. So it will be tough. But either way, I'm very thrilled to see at least one of us in the grand finals immediately, and maybe the other one can join him a little bit later.
Well, we are going to find out. Teammates going to go into battle soon. Marshall, back to you.
Thank you, Cedric. You can see they're already planning it all out. These teammates are like, hey, we'll meet you at the end there. Somebody's got to hold the trophy for somebody else, but really impressive performance from them. That's going to do it for the upper semifinals. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, though, we'll have Marie and friends at the news desk setting up the next round.
thought that you would. Paying less for quality supplements from now feels good too. Feel good spending less with Now.
Ever wonder what's in your tap water? It could be full of contaminants. Some you can taste, but most you can't even see. Frigidaire water filters remove up to 99% of contaminants for safer, great-tasting water you can trust.
I was wondering if you could help me find my way out. I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
I regret to inform you that this next test is impossible.
Righto. So first, let's try something easier. Like saving money by switching to Geico.
Oh, you want it easy? You're in the wrong place.
Okay, robotic overlord lady. It was fun and all, but I'm out of here. Well, this is awkward. Well. Yeah?
Put your insurance on easy mode. Switch and save with Geico.
Mark your calendar. Set your alarm. And drop everything. Your favorite artists. First-time performances. Amazon Music Live. Watch the drop.
People always ask us, what's it like? It's like a dream.
Awesome cosplay we've been seeing all weekend long as well. Hey everybody, welcome back to coverage of the 2022 World Championship here on day 3 of coverage. Marie Bartholdi and Monty Davuti here at the news desk. Whew, we've just had our upper semifinals. Really great matches, Monty.
Yeah, those were a blast to watch. We were in the back room just watching them happen, and just really exciting stuff in both of them. Very tight games and really cool to see.
All right, let's take a look at our updated bracket here to find out where we're at so far in the tournament, where we have yet to go this afternoon. You can see there Eli Cassis coming out on top of his match with Nathan Stoyer. Jakub Toth beating Carl Serap. So that means Eli Cassis and Jakub Toth are now headed to the upper semifinals. Whoever wins that is our first finalist who will be doing battle in our title match. This is double elimination, so Serap and Stoyer drop to the lowers. They get one more loss, that's it, and they're out of the tournament. So if they keep winning, they could find themselves in the title match again. Well, everybody, we're having a great time here over at the World Championship, but just over there, we saw those people piling into the convention center. A ton of people having an amazing time at Magic 30. There's beautiful secret layers set up with planeswalkers, a lot of amazing set pieces. Becca Scott checked out one of them, the Weatherlight.
I'm with the iconic illustrator, Mark Tadine. Mark, tell me about what it was like to do the original illustration for the Weatherlight.
Well, Pete Metters was the one who designed the first version of the Weatherlight for the style guide. And during the Weatherlight saga, we had a chance to redesign it actually twice as it evolved. This is like the version that I did for the card based on that concept art. And more recently, it's been redesigned again, and it's back in action.
What is it like to see in person this epic art piece that you had a hand in the creation and evolution of?
You know, it's all very collaborative, but you know, I do have a special place in my heart for the ship.
So talk me through the Weatherlight, what it does, what kind of information you were given before you created this piece about the technology in the ship.
We had the inside loop on, like, you know, what was going on with the story when we were developing the concept guide for it. It was a blend of Urza's technology and also like a gift from the elves. And the melding of those two aspects gave it, like, you know, its full life. And its ultimate goal was to fight Phyrexia.
And protect Dominaria, right?
Yes, the ultimate protector.
Yeah, I gotta keep it safe.
That Weatherlight is truly amazing. I got a chance to go out there and check it out on the floor yesterday. Magic 30 has truly been just like a really incredible event. We're going to pivot now to our upper finals. Let's find out who'll be watching in the feature match area here. Coming on up, Eli Cassis versus Jakub Toth. Two heavy hitters in the game of Magic. Let's get to meet Eli Cassis. Eli Cassis has been playing this game for a long time. He's got 8 Grand Prix top 8s and 2 wins. There you see them on your screen. Both players playing Esper mid-range, 2 top finishes for Cassis, the winner of the Neon Dynasty Championships as well. Eli actually took a moment to sit down with Cedric yesterday ahead of our top 8. Here's what he had to say.
I'm here in the Players Lounge with top 4 competitor Eli Cassis. Eli, I saw you give Corey Baumeister a big hug after you locked it up. How you feeling?
Feeling very good, thank you.
Yeah. So, the list of accomplishments is vast over the past handful of years for you. This is the one I know that obviously you don't have yet, but you really want. Talk to me about what it means.
Oh, it means the world. If I got, well, literally the world.
Yes.
If I got this, I feel like that's my complete set. Now I've got it all, and now I have to just wonder what I want to do with myself next.
Sure, kind of like your own personal Power 9, I guess.
Yeah, what's it called when you win like one of each of the like different accolades?
Grand Slam.
A Grand Slam?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it'd be my Magic Grand Slam.
Okay, that would be quite the honor. So,
yeah,
I think your deck selection team, all the work you guys put in, clearly it paid off having 2 people in the top 4. Tell me about how that feels for you guys.
Oh, it feels fantastic. We were this close to having a 3rd team member in.
Jim in 5th place.
5th place, yeah, and it was a team kill that ended him, but man, it's so close. We loved all of the testing. Everybody got along well. We were on Discord calls. Not only were we like playing and having fun, which I think is a huge element to like finding that niche and really flowing together, but we all settled on the same decks. We didn't have any like disagreements on that. Really, it was just like the last couple cards that we differed on, and really that was just me, and the rest of the team was like all streamlined with each other.
So preparing for the top 4, what's that look like for you now at this stage of the tournament?
You mean like what I'll do tonight to prepare for tomorrow?
Sure.
Probably just sleep. I just want to be well rested. Esper versus Grixis and then Esper versus Esper are things that we've done 100 times. So I don't feel like doing it one more time tonight will really inform any decision. If I thought like the deck list was going to be like so vastly different than what we tested against, it might be worth a couple reps, but I'm pretty sure everything is close to stock. Okay. So we're probably just going to get rest.
All right, he's going to rest up, get ready to do battle, and we'll see where the cards fall. That's Eli Cassis.
And here's a look at Eli's opponent, Jakub Toth, running Esper mid-range as well. Recently engaged. Congratulations, Jakub. His fiance is here this weekend cheering him on. Loves competition, says the inner rush of playing a match that really matters is what really gets him going here. Well, these matches, they really matter, Jakub. Let's hear what he had to say to Cedric yesterday ahead of the top 4.
I'm here in the Players Lounge with top 4 Worlds competitor Jakub Toth. Jakub, a heck of an accomplishment. Tell me, what's this mean for you in Magic?
Well, it will be very nice to have finally top finishes 1 instead of top finishes 0. So,
okay.
And it's a pretty good top finish. So I guess it means a lot. Yeah, I've been daydreaming about this, just accepting it will probably never happen, but just like imagining the scenarios. And I think I'm not dreaming. I think this is actually happening.
This is real as it gets. I'm here. You're holding a mic. This is real as it gets.
So yeah,
man.
it's quite surreal. Yeah.
So coming into the tournament, you're testing with Eli, you're testing with Jim, you're testing with Mike. A really, really good team. 2 of you guys get into the top 4. That's got to feel great for you guys.
Oh yeah, I felt like it was obvious the guys are amazing. I've heard so many good things about Siggy. Turns out he's also an amazing person.
Yeah.
Eli and Jim are also like top notch. Like these guys, we have never seen each other actually. I think, and it feels like we are good friends. We have seen each other for the first time like 3 days ago, and also that's pretty big. We have support from overseas. Ivan Floch has been working his ass off. He did an amazing job. Andrzej Strasky, he actually flew here and he's been helping us a ton. So these guys, they did an amazing job and it paid off. So.
It's incredible to have that help from such 2 awesome, awesome players. You're coming into Esperland now. It's time to start casting those Rafines and maybe a little Grixis in your future too. How you feeling about it?
Well, I'm not super thrilled about the Grixis in the mix, and it's not like I love Esper Mirrors either.
Yeah.
I think we have a pretty good version. I mean, it looks like that was the only choice you could have made for the tournament, just bring in Esper and hope for the best. So I'm feeling okay. I would prefer to play the Mono Blue and explore, but you do what you gotta do, so.
Well, we're going to see who's going to draw their Fiends and does the Esper thing. If it's you, you're going to be hoisting one heck of a trophy. Looking forward to watching you play.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That is Jakub Toth versus Eli Cassis coming here in our upper finals. What about the decks, Monty?
Well, Maria, you heard them talk about it, teammates. So these guys worked together on this event alongside their team. Taking a look at their decks, you heard Eli in his interview mention pretty close to identical as he's the outlier. He likes to change a few cards. So as we look through these two different builds of Esper, they're going to look pretty close to identical, both in the sideboard and in the main deck. Something like 4 or 5 individual cards off, but none of them are going to really have a big impact. This is a straight up mirror between two players who know how each other play. They have played this matchup, I'm sure, because they expected a lot of Esper throughout the past weeks and months leading up to this event. So really at this point, it's just the closest. And good news, as you heard Jakub say, one of them is guaranteed to be in that title match. But for the other, they're going to have to make it back through the lower if they want that all-team final.
All right, do you have a prediction for us, Monty?
I can't pick. I watched these guys test. I love their process. I thought they were extremely prepared for this event. And at this point, I think it's too close to call.
All right, too close to call. Well, we're about to find out who does indeed take it home here. It's upper finals time. The winner goes to the title match. I'm going to pass that on over to Ailey and Corey.
Thank you very much, Maria. Excuse me. Welcome, everyone, to the upper finals here at the World Championship. I'm Ailey Loney alongside Corey Baumeister. And we are so excited to be here today. We've just been buzzing backstage, itching to get out here, and I bet you the players are ready to rock and roll as well. So let's see, Jakub Toth versus Eli Cassis, who is going to be the end boss for the remaining 3 players.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be an awesome match here. 2 very good friends, teammates, battling it out. Always kind of bittersweet when you get to this moment, and one of you has to, not eliminate, at least send someone to the lower division, but one of them will be going to be the end boss here. That's the main thing. So really exciting match ahead of us.
And it's just such an, I don't say like a privileged position to be in, but it's an advantageous position because you don't have that long road to go like Marshall mentioned earlier. You can just kind of sit back and wait and see who your opponent's going to be.
Yeah, size up your competition a little bit. Head in the back lounge, relax, and wait for someone to come to you. To play for that giant, beautiful trophy. Oh my God. That is the most gorgeous trophy I have ever seen.
You know what I will say? I'm glad that the top 4 have their teammates here around because whoever has to hoist that trophy may need some assistance in doing so.
Absolutely might just need help. Yeah, it looks very heavy.
It does indeed, and I'm pretty sure that they will be more than happy to oblige, considering that especially for these players, it's not just a one-man show. You know, there's so much work, so much behind the scenes, testing, competition going on.
Yes.
That, you know, you don't win a world championship alone. This is, in essence, what's going to happen here this
This
weekend.
was their life for the last 2 to 3 weeks, you know? You don't get to these positions by just, you know, expecting to do well, winging it, exactly. You got to put in the effort. These players did so, and with this many formats, you really have to be focused to expect to be in a position like this.
Both players kicking things off here, just getting their lands down. Do we have blue? Yes, we have an island there for Jakub Toth. So could go Ludovic on turn 2 or Tenacious Underdog as his start here. It does also have Danik, Pious Apprentice, so plenty of 2-drops available for Jakub.
Yep, plenty of options. Jakub's hand is excellent. Now, we did see Jakub being on the draw here because Eli Cassis was that #1 seed. And as far as Eli's hand goes, a lot of lands, but the one nice thing that they have going on for them in these standard decks is a lot of these lands, well, they still do something else. So we're not seeing like other lists where there is like 3 Ottawaras or anything like that, but 1 Ottawara, 1 Takenuma, 1 Iganjo, definitely some utility if you are flooding in some scenarios.
No access to the creature lands anymore as those rotated out. Imagine what this deck would look like with those in tow.
Even better Esper, I can't even fathom. These decks are already so very strong.
Wedding announcement down here. Danik, Pious Apprentice got in for 2 points damage, padding the life total there of Jakub just a little bit. And the 1/1 down on the battlefield now. Shieldred the Apocalypse could hit the battlefield here. It's not going to get counted, but we do see that Infernal Grasp in hand there for Jakub, so we'll be able to kill that Shieldred before the trigger goes on the stack.
Yeah, and that's so important. Maybe not at this very early stage of the game when you're at 21, not as big of a deal, but every single life point counts in these matchups because, well, you're playing the exact same cards, so, you know, these games are won by inches instead of miles.
Yeah. Oh, and especially with the pain lands, just kind of, you know, dinging away at you there.
Yeah, we've been seeing that all weekend, really, you know? I mean, that was kind of the difference of the success of some of these decks versus some of these maybe other mono blue or blue-red standard decks that we saw earlier on day one of this competition.
Here we're going to see Shieldred infernally grasped. 2 life lost, courtesy of the card, but importantly, no life lost from the card draw. Seraphine's Tower, Takanuma, Abandoned Mire in hand here for Jakob Toth. Anointed Peacekeeper. This is a card that I know a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, it's the new Elite Spellbinder.
Yeah.
Doesn't see play all that often.
Yeah, not a ton. It is a pretty strong card. You know, we were actually kind of seeing it played in Explorer a decent amount as well, naming Witch's Oven, making that kind of thing a little bit tougher. But yeah, hasn't truly made its dominant stand here in Standard because these Anointed Peacekeepers are, you know, they're competing with Rafine, Wedding Announcement, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, some of these really, really strong cards.
It's such a saturated spot at the moment, so, you know.
3 drops, yeah.
Yeah, what are you cutting for that? Are you diluting the power of your deck in that case? So
it's not Rafine or Wedding Announcement, I'll tell you that, Ailey.
Oh, yeah. Thought here for Jakob what he wants to follow up with. Is it going to be Ludovic, Necrogenius, or Tenacious Underdog? Tenacious Underdog it is. Wedding Announcement will draw a card here for Jakob. And A Darker Waste, followed by AO the Dawn Sky, is going to hit the battlefield here. Now this dragon has been known to close out a couple games.
Absolutely. AO being really, really, really strong in this deck, especially up against Wandering Emperor. You know, being able to not have to turn sideways so it doesn't get put into harm's way that way. And most of the time in these mirror matches, what you're going to have to do is use a removal spell like Infernal Grasp.
Yeah.
Or if you're lucky, use Otawaro, something. Yeah, but there's not even that many exile spells outside of a tapped creature. So AO is just going to get value most of the time, and you got to kind of fight through 2 spells built into 1. So a really strong 5-drop.
Yeah. Jakob tapping carefully here. Looks to be deploying. What's he got there? Looks to be deploying the Anointed Peacekeeper. Is going to get to take a look at the hand here of Ely and name a card. What do you name?
Probably just Tenacious Underdog since it's the card in hand. But, you know, there's definitely some thought to just picking one of the more powerful cards like the Wandering Emperor. But more than likely, you just see the card in hand, you name it if there is only one option.
Yeah. Doing what these Esper colors love to do best, taxing people. I bet you he's part of the Orzhov.
I think so.
For sure.
I think so.
I keep the peace, I also tax you. Give me your money.
Yeah, Jakob being a big fan of Wedding Announcement, both on the battlefield and off.
Yeah, congratulations, Jakob.
Exactly. We got to meet him and his fiance and learn about their proposal earlier on the trip. So really awesome stuff. Huge congrats to Jakob.
Their Wedding Announcement didn't come with card draw or tokens, though. So
yeah. See if it's Magic themed. That'll still be to be continued.
We'll have to see if we can correct that, perhaps. But Wedding Announcement is flipped now into an Anthem. So this is a pretty large board indeed for Jakob Toth, but Eli does have the flying advantage here. The 6/5 flyer is not anything to be sniffed at, as that's going to start chipping away, or more like devouring the life total here.
Yeah,
of Jakob.
huge chunks, 3-turn clock here, and really all advantage going to Ely here. You have a Ganjo to be able to do something, but with that Anthem putting it up to 5 power, auto reach. So now Jakob is really pressured to either find some way to start being able to connect with Denik, to be able to start gaining some life, to kind of negate all the damage that AO is doing, or you just have to find something like Wandering Emperor doesn't really do much. Otawara to be able to bounce it. There's not a ton of ways to actually deal with it in game 1. 1 Void Rend, a couple Destroy Evils, and that still is going to come with the ability, most of the time, of looking at the top 7, putting a 4-drop or less into play instead of putting the counters on, even though that is how we saw Jakob just beat Carl a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's great to have the versatility there of AO's Death Trigger, Wedding Announcement number 2 now for Jakob Toth. So let's just get them creature if we see an attack.
Yeah, and all the attacks here just look pretty bad. You have to really just give away a creature. But the one thing that Jakob was considering for an attack was to just draw a card off Wedding Announcement. That's the kind of desperation when you have to think about that, which ends up being not ideal.
Yeah. I mean, at what point does he send Danik to the graveyard just to bring him back?
Yeah, as a flying blocker.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, if that other wedding announcement flips into an Anthem, the flip side of Danik will actually trade with AO, so that might be the plan at some point here.
Yeah, Danik Pious Apparition can come back from the graveyard with a Disturb ability.
Yep, and Danik doing a lot of nice things in this matchup, but we just saw Takenuma still bringing back a creature because it is choosing one, not targeting, so still able to do that.
Oh, Shieldred's back. Here comes the Apocalypse, and this time no upkeep destruction of this creature. So Jakob's going to start taking extra damage here now, and these two heavy hitters are going to get this game over and done with very fast, unless we can find something like an AO of his own.
Real big draw step there to just keep Jakob just playing Magic at this point. With those two Destroy Evils in hand, though, it is still looking very advantageous for Ely, but at least AO gives Jakob a chance here. And if you are able to play AO, that's still only 2 legends. So, so Ganjo would be active if Ely decides to go to combat for some reason before Destroy Eviling AO. So we shall see.
I mean, would it be out of the realm of possibility to see the counters put on the creatures if Jacob's AO dies?
Yes, I think so, because that would still be 6 damage coming into Jakob, and then the life loss from Shieldred would still take it down. So I think you have to, like, find Wandering Emperor, and it might be to, like, exile your own tapped creature. I mean, these are the kind of creative lines that we have to think about. Jakob is really just saying, I need you to not have a removal spell. Turns out Ely has all of the removal spells.
Yeah, it's like, which one would you like to utilize here, Mr. Cassis? It's going to be Infernal Grasp. That will take care of the Dawn Sky on the other side of the battlefield. And Jakob not too concerned right now, but maybe a little bit hesitant, or maybe a little bit regretful that he didn't send Danik in just to pad the life total a little bit.
Exactly. Maybe give Jakob a little bit more time. I mean, that's up to 10. It's still just going to die. But yeah, I think as it stands right now, this is just GG.
Yeah.
Take 6, draw a card, end the game right here.
That's going to be it. The Shieldred, the Apocalypse trigger on upkeep or on the draw is going to kill him, unfortunately, unless there's no tap creature. Oh, man.
Ely just yawning it off there. Did you see that? No big deal. I just won game 1. You know, so calm, so chill.
Oh, man. Imagine if something was tapped. That would have been the ideal situation there for Jakob. But let's go to game number 2 here. Now, both of these players, I'm pretty sure they get a sideboard similarly, right? They would have tested against each other.
Yeah.
Assuming that they would be in a position like this.
So a lot of things that happen in these matchups, especially when you have teammates against each other. Number 1, they usually play different play versus draw. You know, sometimes Wedding Announcement a little bit worse on the draw. You consider taking out 1, 2, maybe all of them. We've seen some players do, leaving in more removal on the draw so you can kind of break serve, as we like to call it. You know, deal with a Rafine the turn it gets cast. But also with that, there's the next level aspect where Ely knows Jakob knows how he's going to sideboard. Jakob knows how Ely's going to sideboard. Do you mix it up now to try to do something different that the other player is not expecting? Or do you just keep it the same way because that is the best way to sideboard in these mirror matches?
Well, I have to see here if Jakob's able to get one up here against Ely Cassis, our first seed, the first man into Sunday. And looking to be the first player into the grand finals.
And looking to get his first world championship trophy, which is really the only accomplishment Ely hasn't had so far. He's really kind of done it all, you know? I mean, of course, he still has the drive to keep competing at the highest level, but I know this means a lot to not only him, but Jakob as well.
Oh, for sure. You know, just getting to hang out with the players and hearing about their Magic journeys, like, this is just, I don't want to say the be-all and end-all for them, but you know, this is such a big part of their lives. And you know, we saw the emotion yesterday from the players who just didn't make the top 4.
Yeah.
Like, it means so much than you think.
Yeah,
it's not just a card game. It's not just a pastime or, you know, a fun hobby. like, this is a way of life for some people.
Exactly. I mean, just me and you getting to talk to the players, this has meant so much to us.
Yeah.
And it's just elevated so much more to the players that are, being involved in this kind of scenario here.
And, you're going to see emotion this weekend. You're going to see people get choked up about it.
Oh, yeah.
And I absolutely love that because, there's only so many people who get to call themselves world champion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've heard this said by previous Magic World Champions before, that you can just say, yeah, I want a pro tour to someone who doesn't play Magic, and they're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. But when you say you're the world champion of something, people take notice. Yeah. Newspapers start contacting you at your local area and everything. Life changes. We heard that from Utah after he won last
Palo
year
as well.
Exactly. Basically all of the world champions. Yeah.
As things stand now, we've got Tenacious Underdog on the battlefield with a wedding announcement ticking for Eli Cassis in the bottom half of your screen. If you're just joining us, everybody, you are watching the upper finals. One of these individuals will be the end boss for the 3 other players in the top 4. So plenty of magic still to happen here. The upper finals, then we'll drop down to the lowers and sort all that out, and then we'll crown a world champion.
Absolutely. Plenty of magic left to play here. We see Tenacious Underdog getting pretty aggressive here against Eli. Eli doesn't have the best play. In fact, nothing lined up for next turn. So Eli is going to have a lot of pressure to draw something of meaning next turn to be able to do something besides just Infernal Grasp. While Jakob, on the other hand is great. So now, right now, Jakob has the decision. While Eli is tapped out, could just go Tenacious Underdog, Denik, say, I got this much pressure, bring it on. There are some wrath effects in the sideboard, depopulate and stuff, but normally these players are not bringing that in. So, but that could be the kind of pivot that the players are doing against each other, and this could be kind of leaning into it. I love this play. Get aggressive and then start holding up your things. Huge draw.
That is an excellent draw here for Eli Cassis. We could even see it fired off now to avoid a disdainful stroke from Jakob Toth.
So smart.
And that is an excellent way to deal permanently with Tenacious Underdog. Exile, life gain, exactly what he needed.
And now we're going to get that second token from Wedding Announcement, and that can at least leave Wandering Emperor alive if Eli so chooses to just block both of them. Now, Wandering Emperor, when it is down to 1 loyalty, it's not the biggest deal to keep alive anyway, so I would imagine we probably either just let this go or double block the Tenacious Underdog.
Oh,
never mind. I will I'll take that back.
I mean, think about it from Eli's perspective, right? The next creature down is either a Rafine now or there's Air of the Dawn Sky. So we could start getting counters on that first strike, swinging in, and, just play the race game again against Jakob Toth.
Yeah, absolutely. And another big draw step here from Eli. There's that disdainful strokes on the board, so now Eli gets to make the judgment call. Do I go for AO and just hope that there is no make disappear, no disdainful stroke, something like that? Or do you have this beautiful curve of being able to play Rafine and have Infernal Grasp open, which looks much more appealing in the face of a possible removal spell?
That is what we're going for here. Rafine Scheming Seer on the battlefield. Does Jakob take the opportunity to flash in the Wandering Emperor? I don't think we're going to see that right now. And we're going to see the Wandering Emperor on the other side of the battlefield. Eli is going to +1, put a counter on it, and start trying to take over the game with the card advantage that Rafine offers.
Now it'll be interesting if Jakob wants to play conservatively and not lean into a possible counterspell, which Eli's kind of representing.
Yeah.
I think I agree, you just got to jam here, especially with drawing Takenuma.
Yeah.
Jakob